Hey all, I just want to make a quick video going over the Knots app API data sync. If this is your first time into Zendesk, to get to the applications, what you're going to want to do is log in to Zendesk, click on the boxes in the top right corner, go to Admin Center. Once you get to Admin Center, type in apps in the search bar in the top left column. After that, click on Zendesk support apps. And then once you have that, you're going to want to click on Marketplace, which will bring you to this tab. And what you're going to want to do is, again, search for API data sync. Should pop right up for you. You'll click on that. You can read a bit more about it, get a quick demo if you want. And then after that, you'll click Install. And then we'll go through some prompts here. Right, you can enable role restrictions, group restrictions if you want to change the title, but we're just going to leave it as default. And so that's going to run its magic. And then after we, no error messages, looks like we're good to go. I want to bounce back to the agent screen and click refresh. Once we click refresh, we'll notice on the left side there's a new app, the API data sync by Knots. And what you're going to want to do is first you're going to want to log in. And then once you get logged in, what you're going to want to do is create a new trigger. Before we get into any of the setup though, we're going to want to set up a connector. So we'll go ahead and click this button. After we've logged in to Knots, it'll go ahead and take us to the console. And what we're going to want to do is set up a connector. So I'll pause and fill this out. Alright, so for those of you following along at home, what you're going to want to do is, once you get the generic basic auth with your webhook or URL of choice, if you're using webhook.site, I want to show you how to set that up really quick. As you can see over here on the right side of my screen. So you just go to webhook.site, and then that will give you your URL. So I just copied this URL and put it in right here. But then we're also going to want to get data, right? So we're going to want to retrieve data. And this is what I generated, where let's say I have a database of assets, or maybe I'm checking out computers to my employees, right? So in this array of JSON objects, we're able to see all the different attributes in each object. So for instance, what we're going to want to end up doing is grab, like we can ask for the ID here. So lap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is different and unique compared to the other ones. And I'm going to go ahead and pause here and jump to the other part of the config. Navigate into the app, and it's worth pointing out you can configure the trigger, right? Like, do you want this to fire if somebody sends an email, or if somebody opens up a messaging widget, WhatsApp, SMS, etc.? You're able to restrict or allow things based on whatever your business needs to configure that trigger specifically, but it'll work right out of the box. Make sure it's active, and I went ahead and named this. You're also going to want to tag your ticket, so when it fires, we're able to record this, and that it only fires once, and to prevent phantom fires. What we're doing here is we're going to get API data. Again, select your connector here, and then relative URL path to the service. That's going to be whatever URL that you are on that you want to get responded back to. And in this example, it's going to be a GET. We're just trying to get some information. We're not trying to send anything or delete. And the last thing we're going to want to set up is, how do we get to this, that specific ID for the laptop? And if this doesn't seem familiar, what we can do is we can click on the tooltip here to bring us to JSON Pathfinder. And what you're going to do is you're going to copy and paste your payload in over here on the right or the left, and then on the right it's going to pop up all of the results for us to click on, right? So if we wanted this first laptop and this ID, we can go ahead and copy that, and then we can go back to our path, and the X isn't necessary here, but you could have it, doesn't hurt anything. And we're going to store it in a private comment. But here, what you could also do is go to a ticket field. Maybe it's an order number, what have you, and then you have other logic within your agent form on the ticket. You can go right ahead and do that, but we're going to keep it private comment. So after you activate or update your configuration, it's time for the rubber to meet the road and see what kind of results that we get. All right, as promised, we're going to go ahead and run this thing. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to submit a ticket, and what we're hoping that it does is out of this huge array here with all these lines, that it grabs this one attribute for us. So I'm going to go ahead and create a ticket off screen. As we can see, we already got some action, but let's click in the ticket for good practice here. So we notice that all that happened was a comment, the ticket was created, and then the response got returned in the private comment. And if you want a deeper look into the trigger, right, this is basically just right out of the box. It takes the trigger name. You can add a description if you want, puts it in the right category. And as you can see, it's pretty open here, right? So ticket is created less than closed. So basically that's like any new ticket that doesn't close itself. So that could be a lot of tickets. So if you wanted to restrict that, like I said, to different channels or conditions, what have you, you can all do it within here. That tag that we specified is included, and then the details of our payload. So I hope that this has been a helpful video. Thanks for taking the time to watch, and good luck with your configuration.